take your time grabbing everything you need and then have a lie down on your mat. And take just a moment once you've made your way down to notice how you're feeling. You could take a couple of deep breaths. Just notice your back pressing into the floor, your chest rising as you breathe. And then when you're ready, lift your arms up overhead to the extent that they want to come up overhead. It doesn't have to be as far as I go. I have very, we'll call them open shoulders. And then bend your elbows and draw your arms down. And try that again a few times. So lifting up overhead, maybe taking a deep breath as you come up, and then drawing them down, pulling them down with your elbows leading. Try it a few times at your own pace, just noticing how your shoulders are feeling. And what can you notice as you're doing this? So you may notice your shoulder blades moving on your back. If your hands end up touching the floor at any point or any point on your arms, you might notice the temperature of the floor or the texture of the floor. Maybe do that one more time. And when you're ready, pull your knees in towards your chest. You can give them a little squeeze. You might rock from side to side a little. And come to stillness and keeping your hands on your knees. Draw your knees up towards you, out towards the sides, and then down towards the bottom of your mat. Bring them back together and circle them around a few times that way. So using your hand as a guide, just moving your femurs around in your hip sockets to the extent that the length of your arms allows and the feeling that you notice in your body allows. And once you've done that a few times in one direction, reverse. So drawing down, out, around, and up. And then you could keep going like that. Or if you would like, you could draw your knees in opposite directions. So maybe the left one goes down, the right one goes up, then they both go out and complete the circle. And you might notice if you're trying this that doing it asymmetrically like this might feel different. It might feel a little awkward. It might feel good. Who knows? Sometimes sometimes it just feels a little off to me, and other times I like it. And if you're doing that, try reversing and switching the direction that your knees are going in. So the one that was going up and around will be going down and around, and vice versa. And as you're moving like this, make sure you're not like holding your breath or straining, but can you breathe pretty freely? And then bring your knees together. You might give them a little squeeze and release your left leg down onto your mat. Bring it down so it's straight. You can squeeze your right knee in a little bit with your hands if that feels okay. And then interlace your hands behind your right knee. So that leg is moving up towards your chest. Begin to straighten your right leg to the extent that it wants to straighten. And since you've got your hand behind your knee there, it might not straighten as much as you might normally find it would. Maybe try flexing and pointing that foot a few times. And maybe if you'd like to hold it in a flexed position for a while, try doing that. Then draw your left leg up so that your foot is on the floor, your knee is bent. Release your right leg and place your right ankle over your left knee for Sucharandrasana. And you can do it the same way that we normally do it here if you have a preferred way of doing it. Or you might try pressing your ankle into your knee and your knee into your ankle so that you are creating some resistance. And then drawing your knee up towards your chest, keeping some resistance, but allowing your knee to be the one leading here. And then lowering it down, allowing your ankle to be in the lead here. And just moving back and forth pretty slowly, pressing your lower back down into your mat as you do this. So if you notice that your low back is popping up off your mat, creating some tension and uncomfortable feelings, you might skip this part and maybe just like hold on behind your knee, aiming to feel that stretch. Either way, you're going to be getting a stretch. You've done that a few times. Bring both of your feet to the floor, wiggle them out a little wider than hip width, and drop your knees from side to side for some windshield wipers. When you're ready, come back into constructive rest posture with your feet on the floor, just about hip width apart from each other. Pull your left knee in, your right knee in. Sorry. I've taken some allergy meds this morning, so I might be a little confused. Pull your left knee in towards your chest and extend your right leg out down on your mat. You might find a little bit of wiggling around here to begin with. And then interlace your hands behind your left knee and start to straighten your left leg to the extent that your leg wants to be straight. And again, like holding on to it, keeping it in this one position might limit how straight it decides to be. That's certainly the case for me. If you'd like to try pointing and flexing your foot, you can do that. And that might create some different sensations in the back of your leg. And if you would like to keep your leg with that foot flexed, you might notice, what does that feel like if you hold that for a while? When you're ready, draw your right foot up and place it on the floor. Flex your left ankle. Sorry. Yes. And bring it over your right knee. And then you can try your version of Suchirandrasana. If you want it to be the one where you're really pressing your lower back down, pressing your ankle and knee together, creating some resistance so you have muscular engagement, maybe slowly lifting and lowering that knee, continuing to keep the resistance between your limbs. And this just brings in some more muscular engagement and probably feels quite different. And it will definitely require your abs to do some work, your core. As you're ready, you can release that. Come back into constructive rest. Wiggle your feet out wider. Do a few windshield wipers. Make your way back to center and then make your way up to seated in whatever way you like. If you would like to try rolling up to seated, you can do that. And if you have a different way of coming up into seated, that's fine too. Once you're seated, bring your hands behind you and see if you can lengthen through your back so that you're not rounding through your back, but you have what some people might say is a good posture. And then slide your feet in to the point where it feels comfortable and sustainable. Straighten your right leg and lift it. And decide how high you want to keep it. So this is a version of half boat Ardha Navasana. You can stay here like this, or you might try bringing your hands alongside your knees. You might feel it in your hip flexors. You might feel it in your core. When you're ready, you can drop that one down and try it on the other side. So again, make sure your back is long. Lift your left leg this time to any degree. Decide if you want to stay there, or would you like to bring one or both hands alongside your knees. And then lower that leg down and come into a comfortable for you seated position. If you want to boost your hips up on a block or a cushion, you can do that. From here, bring your right fingertips to the ground. Lift your left arm to whatever degree it wants to come up and lean to the side. So you're getting a stretch through your left side. And if you would like to bring in some movement here, you might try closing your chest down towards the ground and then opening it back up. Just kind of circling your arm around here, noticing like, what does that feel like? And you might find a position that feels really good. You might find one that doesn't, and you want to skip that. Make your way back into that typical side stretch, and then lift yourself up and twist towards the right. You might bring your left hand across to your right leg. If it feels okay to close your eyes, you might consider closing your eyes, maybe noticing your breath. And every time you inhale, see if you can sit up just a little bit taller. And every time you exhale, feel into that twist. As you're ready, unwind, come back to center. Bring your left fingertips down, stretch your right arm up, and come into a leaning side bend. And then take your time exploring that bend. So maybe you close your chest down towards the floor. Maybe you open it up towards the ceiling. Maybe you circle your arm around. Just getting curious, noticing what do you feel? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? And can you give yourself permission to maybe stick with the things that do feel good today? When you're ready to come back into the typical side bend, you can do that. Make your way back up to straight up and come into your twist. So you're twisting towards the left this time. Maybe your right hand comes across to your left leg. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can do that. And if that inhaling and really noticing, like, can I sit up a little taller? Exhaling and feeling your core holding you in this twist. If that feels like a useful thing to do, go ahead and try that. Let that go. Come back to center and come into a twist on the opposite side again. Now reverse one more time, coming back to center, twisting towards the left. Return to center.